Right, hello everyone. Here we're back for Golf Clash tutorial video here. This is going to be for the City Park hole number 1 here. And let me just draw kind of the sniper line here. That's kind of where the sniper starts to come in. What you usually use on this hole, more times than not, I'll usually use a long iron. So let's talk about that, because that's what we're pretty much going to draw up here. So B52, even from the third tee deck, is here. Goliath will kind of be your number 2. And Goliath 5, I would say. You'll just need 5 or higher here. And the B52, you'll just need a 5 or higher as well. Hopefully a 6 though, just in case backspin. It's a little bit easier. Let me just go ahead and, just to make things a little bit easier, I'm just going to go ahead and write 6 because it's a little bit less dangerous of a shot when you have a 6. Similarly, you can use Tsunami just below these priority-wise, because you'll have a little bit less ball guide. You really don't need the ball guide here, but it does kind of help you first get set up. And the point that, your Tsunami will be okay will be a 3. You really need to get that second hop. Once you can see where that second hop is, you can just kind of gauge the rollout based on experience and, replication of backspin. So we'll go with that one. Similarly, probably next priority is going to be backbone. Saturn's really not going to have the range. So a backbone 9 or a 10 is going to be kind of your next priority. And then, I wouldn't even really worry about the rest because of the range issue that's going to start to happen. You're going to start changing this line, and it's going to keep coming back and back. And the more you get towards max club, just the harder and less situations you're going to have covered. So you really want to use Goliath if you have no other option. There's really no reason to play this tour with Saturn at all. So my typical case here is going to be 4. And again, something that you can do is I can always use 4, and I can just kind of tweak the land zone. So what I'm going to do here is, for most, tailwinds, this is going to be my play. And, for instance, I might not have, 4.5 to 5 backspin here to use. And I could just kind of tweak my land zone just slightly. So this is pretty much what I'll use for my spin, is between 4 and 5. This has potential to be as much as a 5, 4.5 to 5. But at the same time, I don't absolutely need to hit a 5 backspin shot. I can just kind of tweak this second hop, and I can pull it in some and make sure that it just lands a little bit shorter, and it should still roll out. So all I'll do is kind of change my land zone a little bit. So the typical shot that I'll play is somewhere right around here. And then this second hop will kind of land on this fringe. Third hop, and then just run out. And the person that wins this hole more times than not, the person that usually messes it up is the person that just doesn't play the wind effect right. So it's a relatively straightforward, easy shot. However, the most complicated component is being able to master wind effect. But also, this does have kind of a bowl type finish. So the more left you land, the more it kicks left to right. The more right you left, the more I land over here towards the right, it'll kick more right to left and actually project your shot. So I try to land a little bit towards the bottom of that bowl just to kind of keep it as flat as rolling as possible. And in terms of the shot that I play. Let's get these winds set up. So here's side wind, tailwind, headwind. So with the side wind, I pretty much play max. So max long iron. Even though you can see I'm, kind of towards mid club, it's that kind of downhill nature that lets max kind of be spot on. And similarly with the tailwind, I might do max plus 10 maybe, as it just max to max plus 10. And again, it's just kind of tweaking that land zone more than anything. And as I mentioned, if I don't quite have this spin, that's not necessarily a problem. I can just kind of tweak this land zone a little bit, land a little bit shorter, get this hop just a tiny bit shorter, and it can still run out. It's just going to be more so than anything experience. And, just honing in on the adjustments, what's going to give you, the possibility here. So let's take a look at the headwind case, because there's really not too many, I might still use a long iron up to about this point. And even with these, I'm still going to use 4 backspin for the most part. I might just come in just a little bit less, it just depends. And in that one isolated case there for that side wind, it's kind of like a headwind side wind version. I'm definitely going to go beyond max. So max plus 10, max plus 15, for example. In this case, this one isolated case right here. But other than that, so we're going to need to kind of switch up to a wood. So for this second case here, we're going to go sniper. It's going to be kind of I'm kind of gonna switch the priority here, I think. I usually have sniper on. But I think that Guardian is going to maybe just make the shot just a tiny bit easier. Might require a perfect ball. You're going to need at least a sniper 8. But backspin can be kind of a premium. And the way that I play this shot is just a little bit different. So, up here towards the front of the green here, is really lets you kind of crank up the spin. You'll get it to where the first hop's kind of here, second hop, and then you just kind of feed it down this side hill. And again, wind effect and being able to have control over that wind effect is going to, be what, springboards you towards the top to win. Now, even though we're towards min sniper here, I still go well into max here. If it's a very, very large wind, about 13 miles per hour, I'll even go as much as max plus 20. So it's going to range here on this shot. It's going to be the purple. So I'm going to go somewhere between max to max plus 20%. Just depending on how strong. I'm going to use max on a 7, but I'm going to use max plus 20 on, a double that wind. So it's really going to vary depending upon, what wind you get. Other than that, we're going to use wind effect and just try to, and in terms of my spin, for the most part, I'm going to pretty much max these out. So, right around 6.5. Ideally, with a Guardian, you could maybe even crank it up to a 7. And for these, we're at least going to be 6.5 here. The only one that you can start to back off of would be this. You could technically do 6, but I still usually do 6.5 and just kind of change my landing zone. So I pretty much use max on a sniper. With the Guardian, you can probably, crank it up just a little bit higher, and you'll be able to even land just a little bit more into the green, making the shot even that much more simple, because you could potentially get it behind the hole easier. But you're really going to have to master that wind effect to make it happen. Because to make the ball stop here, usually your ball guide needs to be up here towards this fringe. So after you play the rings and you're at the fringe kind of, that's when it starts to compress on those headwinds. So, hopefully, you guys can find the right balance of what to do on this one. Good luck with this hole, and I'll see you guys on the next tutorial.